so sorry for that.
Okay.
But as I said in the email, we're here to ask what the position is of Senator Hatch on 4 specific cabinet nominations. One of them being the Secretary of State, second one being the head of the EPA, third being Department of the Interior, and then the fourth one is Department of Energy. We've looked at those and think that all 4 of those pose a specific risk to addressing climate change, and we're going to talk briefly about what we think those risks are. And I mean, if you guys can give us any updates of what Senator Hatch's position is, that would be great. If not, we just wanted to have you hear us and then get back to us with any information as soon as you can.
Well, maybe we ought to give you the update first, and then,
Great.
then we can
hear. Yeah, that would be helpful.
Then we can hear
know
you
where
out.
to start.
And I think history will bear this out.
Okay.
Senator Hatch believes that that presidents are, especially when it comes to, I can back up just a little bit. Judicial nominations are a different animal because it's a co-equal branch of government with a lifetime appointment. So he views a judicial appointment a little bit different than he does a cabinet appointee. Cabinet appointees are, in his mind, they're the president's cabinet. They're the president's advisors, and that a president's entitled to choose his advisors by and large. And I think his record will bear that out. In 2008, rolling into 2009, he voted in favor of all of President Obama's cabinet nominees except one.
Except one?
Except one.
And which one was
that?
that?
HHS. So.
Sorry?
Health and Human Services.
Health and Human Services.
So.
And was there a reason for that one opposition?
Yeah, I think he had a very specific problem with a qualification. So.
Okay, qualification.
And so, but the rest of them he voted in favor of. And in fact, for instance, when Sally Jewell was nominated to replace Mr. Salazar as the Secretary of the Interior, he actually whipped votes for her. So
He whipped votes for her.
For
so like
her.
Garnered votes.
Yeah,
for her.
he went to his own caucus and said the president's entitled to his advisor, and we'll work and collaborate a lot better together if we help her. So he helped her. And so that being said, in the current situation, President-elect Trump, it's the same dynamic. He believes that the president's entitled to his advisors.
That makes sense.
And
Okay.
so I think if Senator Hatch's long history is any indication, you'll see that he will let the committees of jurisdiction do their jobs. In the names that you mentioned, Senator Hatch does not sit on any of the committees of jurisdiction related to those nominees. And so he'll let those committees of jurisdiction do their job, just like he would expect those committee members to let him do his job related to the nominees that come before finance. So he'll let them do their job, and if his record is any indication, he will probably vote in favor of, if not all, the large majority of the nominees.
That makes sense.
But he hasn't publicly.
He hasn't said. I
No,
haven't heard him
Because
say.
the process really hasn't.
Sure.
you
Yeah,
know,
that's
the
why we
government
want to set up
takes
the meeting.
Confirmation hearings very seriously.
Okay.
So
That's good.
he participates, he listens.
Okay.
So, and he hasn't, I think there's only a few he's made public
Yeah, I haven't.
that he had made, definite decisions. that he was
And the
supporting, but-
reason for that is primarily because he doesn't want to appear to his Senate colleagues on other committees like, hey, I'm coaching you as to how to do your
That makes
job.
sense.
He doesn't want to do that. So.
Okay. Well, then we will. Then that makes sense that there is some chance of him maybe hearing us. It's not like he's set in
Absolutely,
stone.
sure.
And then we'll make the case here for specific to qualifications why we think these 4 might not be qualified.
And the information will go to him. I mean,
Yeah.
your information will go to him.
Okay, thank you
Yeah,
for
it's
saying
not-
that,
this
because
is-
I'm always wondering, like, all right, are we
Right.
just going through the motions, or is
No,
this
it's-
really
it's
going
valuable,
to?
and
No,
he
he wants to
really
hear.
takes it very seriously.
That-
When
that's-
his Utah constituents
Awesome.
take the time to come in
All right.
and express, your opinions and so forth. So
Great.
it's a great exercise in democracy.
Thanks. Well, we'll do introductions then so you know which constituencies we represent. My name is Ryan Ploon, and I'm a K through 12 science teacher. I've been teaching for about 14 years, and I started at East High School here and taught about climate science, and then slowly after 5 or 6 years started realizing, whoa, I'm teaching these students and sort of crossing my fingers that they're going to figure out the solution. I'm the adult. I should start looking at some systemic solutions to this, so I've been learning a lot about advocacy and about politics, because this isn't a question of technology, it's a question of politics. So that's my introduction, and we can go either way.
Where are you teaching you?
Currently at Pacific Heritage. It's a public charter school in Rose Park, K through 8. Yeah.
My name is Zachary Webb. I'm a student at Utah State University. My major is technology engineering, and my concern here is the future energy infrastructure, and I would like to see politicians and people who are in the federal offices to be in support of renewable clean energy infrastructure for the future that will take into mind the impact on the environment, impact on public health.
I'm Jack Green. I'm here to support my students from Utah State University, and I've been in education for 45 years, and I have many grandchildren, so obviously concerns with the changing climate. But also I have a lot of concerns for the rural part of Utah, where the job opportunities may be linked to something that's going away, like coal, and so on, these ups and downs. So I see the renewable energy piece in our state, of course, is geographically situated where it has great opportunity. And right now, well, this is a bit dated, this was 015, sorry. But anyway, almost twice as many jobs in the solar industry as there are in the coal industry. So for all those reasons, I'm here.
Hi, I'm Jill Merritt. I'm a grandmother, a retired human resource professional, and a member of Elders Rising. I think that many species on Earth are in significant danger, as we're already in the 6th extinction. And one of those species is humanity. So I would like the climate deniers who will stand in the way of doing something kept out of the cabinet.
All right, I guess that's me. So my name is Carl Moore. I'm the chairperson of PANDOS. It's a new organization that we started out of the Standing Rock situation. We're basically taking the momentum that's happening at Standing Rock, that is still happening in Standing Rock right now in the negative 20-degree weather, that they're having. So basically we are a Native American organization. It's led by natives, but we have also been partnering with a lot of allies, with Elders Rising, for example, Ryan Ploon, a lot of these guys. We've been partnering with people to get our voice heard. So it's good to meet both of you. I appreciate you, and I guess I am here basically to relay to Senator Hatch that we are here, and that our voice might demographically be small, that we have a lot of allies on our side, and we're taking the momentum of Standing Rock, the unity of all these tribes. I mean, we have 5 different tribes here. We're going to take those tribes and we will unite, and we will also unite with other people, with the majority, with the privileged, and we're going to be here. So we're a force to be reckoned with, and I would love to work with you. We are definitely in opposition of the fossil fuel extraction, the way that it is dirty, the way that it is dirty, how it expels. We are all for clean, renewable energy, and we need to be transferring over to those things. People need to be taking their money in those fossil fuel industries and maybe changing them to a different source. So yeah, I appreciate you guys' blessings in your roles as leaders. Thank you.
What's the name of your group again?
PANDOS, PANDOS.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll give you a card later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. My name is Scott McLeod. I live here in Salt Lake City. I work in the education field, unifying nonprofits and government and others to kind of work together more intentionally to close the achievement gap for students of color and low-income students. I'm here very concerned. I think that history has proven that oligarchies in government don't end well, and we have a cabinet worth over $5 billion. It's the wealthiest cabinet in recent history, if not ever. I think that's concerning, and obviously, there's things in government and in politics we disagree on, minimum wage, Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, how to manage healthcare, all of these policy issues that we disagree on, and we can figure out over time because we have time to figure out the best policies. That's not true with climate change. We don't have time. We're spending our time disagreeing over things that are facts. We wouldn't do that if we were diagnosed with cancer. We wouldn't disagree with 97% of the doctors telling us we had cancer. But because it's convenient, we're disagreeing with 97% of the climate scientists out there. And we don't have time to do that. And so I'm here to change that. And I do respect Senator Hatch's position that a president is entitled to their cabinet. But I think there's a reason we have Senate confirmation, and it's because sometimes that cabinet is dangerous.
My name is Dustin Jansen. I'm a new professor at Utah Valley University. I teach American Indian Studies. Prior to that, I was a judge out in Ibapaw, Utah for the Confederated Tribes of the Goshu. Before that, just after that, I was working with the Navajo Nation Department of Justice and their Water Rights Litigation Unit. My concerns here are really those expressed by Mr. Moore, more on the Native American right aspect and how closely linked they are to natural resource extraction. Specifically right now on my mind is, I worry on behalf of Northern youth and the possibility of them losing 100,000 acres to natural resource extraction. I think that sets a dangerous precedent for tribes across the country and their reservations. I understand that Congress has plenary power to remove and add land as they so please, but I feel like it's a practice that's dangerous, it's unpopular, and it can hurt people. The history of the American Indian with the federal government has been a rough one, and I'm hoping that this new administration, all those in Congress, the Senate, and the House will remember Native American people and their fight and the importance of keeping promises. And that's why I'm here.
Appreciate that.
So, my name is Oakley Hill. I'm on the board of directors of the Utah Valley Earth Forum. I'm also a full-time student at Utah Valley University. I haven't taken any of your classes though. I apologize.
There's still time.
There's still time. I have one semester left. So, I'm here for a plethora of reasons, but primarily I'm quite worried about these cabinet picks. We'll get into more reasons later, but primarily just a general reason is I'm worried that a lot, like everyone on this list, Tillerson and Pruitt and others, but even those not on this list are being appointed to organizations that they want to dismantle. So they have no intention of making that organization any better. They've been pretty explicit in their desire to dismantle those organizations. If we're going to have somebody placed into the highest position in those organizations, I wouldn't want it to be somebody who doesn't want that organization to exist. So that's one of my general worries.
I'm a student at Utah State University. I'm here because I'm genuinely concerned by these various industries, especially the fossil fuel industry, that would prevent them from objectively taking care of these organizations and looking out for the American people, as well as concerns that they wouldn't take environmental protection seriously enough as they're going forward and writing regulations and working with the administration.
So my name's Logan Christian. I'm a senior in environmental studies, geography, and sustainable systems at Utah State University. I'm also the co president of Student Organization for Society and Natural Resources, which is a club that 2 years ago had 2 members, me and one other person, now has 30. So I've seen firsthand how students and our younger generation particularly are starting to become very interested in issues concerning public lands, the interior, energy, and as well as corruption in government and how those things all interplay. And so the reason I'm here today is to represent some of those students, and I feel that there is a big concern, especially with, as one of the last people mentioned, we have these picks that are saying straightforward that they don't want these organizations, these branches of government to even exist, and that means that something that has been built in the case of the Department of Energy for the last 40 to 50 years, it just becomes dismantled, and even though these people might not be successful immediately, to take away that kind of power from an organization that is meant to better the lives of the American people. That's why this bureaucracy is created in the first place. I feel that is not in line with the vast majority of Americans' interests, and especially not in line with the vast majority of the younger generation's interests. So that's why I'm here today.
So it's a wide range of people from different backgrounds. Here at this table, there's 10 people from Logan, Salt Lake City, and then Utah Valley, so Provo area. We also had people that were going to come from Monticello, Moab, and Bluff, but couldn't make it because of various reasons. I think just to get into specifics about the nominees so that you can take that back to Senator Hatch, that he has information about how we think they lack qualifications.
The information that you're going to give to us in a document form?
Both printed, and then after the meeting I can send it electronically.
Okay, very good.
So I don't know if you want to start with Pruitt? Is that?
I didn't volunteer for
Oh, shoot, it wasn't you. Who was going to do EPA and Pruitt?
I'm going to do Pruitt. So, I mean, I have a lot of problems with Pruitt, but just for time's sake. Pruitt has been a vocal critic of the EPA, wants to minimize it, wants to gut it. I think it is innately problematic to hire somebody to a high office, to an organization that doesn't want to exist. That just seems like a huge problem to me generally, especially when it's that organization is the government organization that is supposed to protect the environment. It seems like if we're going to hire somebody to the organization that's supposed to protect the environment, it should be somebody who wants to protect the environment. That just seems, especially whether climate change, I'm saying that as, climate change is a fact, like the earth is flat, but I understand Senator Hatch's position is not in line with my position. But even taking that into account, we depend on the environment, whether climate change is occurring or not. That's something that we depend on. And it seems just intuitively, intuitive that we shouldn't hire somebody to an organization that he doesn't want to exist.
All right, and then Zinke, who said they were going to talk for Zinke.
Yeah. His preference for selling for 1 cent federal land to be used for fossil fuel extraction totally disqualifies him to serve in a cabinet.
And then Perry.
Yeah, so I can definitely talk a little bit about Rick Perry. I think of all these people, there's definitely problems, but with Rick Perry, going specifically back to the concern Hatch has with qualifications, I think it's most blatantly clear with Rick Perry. This is somebody who's not only said that they want this branch of government to be done away with, but also, are you guys familiar with the situation?
That wasn't his oops one?
Yeah, this is the oops one. So where he couldn't even remember which department he wanted to defund. I think that goes to show just how little he cares about energy. And this is an incredibly important time for energy in our country. Whether or not the science is accepted, I think it's clear that there is an economic shift occurring right now in our country when it comes to energy. And what better way to facilitate that other than how it's already being facilitated with the free market, but to give it that push that is why we even have government in the first place than the Department of Energy. And this is something, especially in Utah, as Jack mentioned, with a place where we have, you know, almost twice as many jobs as in solar as in the coal industry, and we haven't even begun to tap into some of our potential, especially in the southern end of the state. It seems almost ludicrous to me why we would want somebody like that to be heading this department. But in addition to that, he's called the department just a contrived, phony mess. He is clearly 100% against it, and he's also shown through his background that he's explicitly tied to the fossil fuel industry too, and so corruption is also a key issue here. There's a clear, just for one example, he's the director of Energy Transfer Partners, which was the company that was funding the Dakota Access Pipeline. And so this is a blatant example showing how Rick Perry doesn't really put people's lives above his own interests when it comes to how he can make money. And my concern is that if we set a precedent for this kind of action in government, over time it's just going to allow more and more people directly tied to the industries, one of the most profitable industries in the world, to completely take advantage of government. And to me, that just doesn't make any sense.
And then ending with Rex Tillerson for Secretary of State. In terms of what Senator Hatch could use to oppose this nomination in terms of qualifications, Rex Tillerson has never worked anywhere except for Exxon. There's no feasible way that I can see of separating Rex Tillerson from Exxon. And he's also had no diplomatic or government experience. He has spent his career and his adult life putting his special interests ahead of the U.S. government, or ahead of public interest. And his predecessor, Lee Raymond, has a quote that says, "I'm not a U.S. company, and I don't make decisions based on what's good for the U.S." I think that kind of appointment from a large corporation, while you could tell the story that they have lots of experience internationally, that experience internationally is very focused on profits, not focused on people. And the fact sheet we have to leave you is this one, and I'll send it electronically. Okay. And then the other pieces around the other 4 nominations, I'll send that electronically as well.
I didn't bring okay with you. I'll
Sure.
get my contact info.
Okay.
And can you disseminate it to the group?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is just kind of a summary sheet of,
Right.
again, some of the ideas for strengthening the economy in rural parts of
Great.
our state.
I don't know if Ron, I don't know if you know Ron's background, but he does
No.
work on these issues for the senator, the natural resource lands issues.
Great.
The Natural
Yeah.
Resource Council, Senator Hatch.
So
Any
he's
way we can
the
help
perfect
you.
person to be chatting with here.
Okay. And if anyone else wants to make any closing remarks, and then we'll move to Senator Lee's office.
I do have some cards of their mine, but Ron, he's going to put his contact information. Anyone's welcome to these. You can at least get to the office that way. But if you want to write down Ron Bean's name.
And there will be phone calls to Senator Hatch's office. Is there a specific office that he would like the phone calls directed to, or is it just wherever that person resides?
For purposes of the nominations?
Yes.
Yeah, you can call any of the offices.
Okay. And does that information all get to him?
Sure.
Okay.
Reports go back to Washington from our Utah offices.
Okay.
On a daily basis.
Yeah,
On a daily basis,
they're inputted
including phone calls.
Yeah, they're
Mhm.
inputted into the computer.
Okay.
And then that goes to Washington. So.
And then when could we expect a response of when he's willing to be public about his vote? Is there any timeline
It'll probably
around
be
that?
after the committees of jurisdiction have had their hearings.
Okay. And then from the jurisdiction or committees of jurisdiction, how
When the
much
committees
time
of-
is there before the full Senate vote?
The committees of jurisdiction have their hearings, and then there will be a vote in each committee, a recommendation vote. And so each nominee will be recommended either favorably or unfavorably out of the committee of jurisdiction. And then it's the leadership in the Senate that will schedule the floor time and the votes related to the nominees.
Is it a day in between, a week in between?
Depending on the nature of the hearing and the committee, say a nominee comes out of a committee with bipartisan like 15-0 vote, that would probably be a unanimous consent. It would just go right to the floor. since there's no opposition in the committee, they would ask for unanimous consent in the Senate, and more than likely they would get it.
Okay. And that's so that's within a matter of minutes.
Probably be a day or two.
A day or two. Okay. And when do those jurisdiction committee meetings happen?
You can go on each of their websites.
Okay.
Each committee has their own website, and they'll have their schedule up.
Okay.
And so if you want to track that,
I don't know if they've been set yet or not.
I don't think the hearings have been set yet.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if they have.
Yeah,
I know when the finance related, they've just actually appointed the chairpersons of all the Senate committees just yesterday.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we just want people to call in before the decision's been made.
So those committee chairmen and committee memberships have just been put in place within the last 24 hours. So they will probably start, putting their schedules together, and some of these nominees will get up or down votes in January. Some of them will probably bleed over into February, and if there are any that are really super controversial, they may even go later.
Okay, great. That's helpful.
But you can
Thank
call
you.
the individual committees also,
Okay.
in
And
addition
ask,
to the senator's office,
Okay.
and voice your opinions and so
Okay.
forth.
All right.
Well,
Thank you so
thanks
much
for
for your
coming.
time.
No,
Yeah,
it's
appreciate you
important,
coming in.
and
Thank you.
The senator does value constituent input,
Okay.
and reports go back to him, and he appreciates
Yeah.
you taking the time to come in and.
Just let him know. I
Thank you
think
so
Carl
much.
referenced it best that this isn't any one specific group, and
Right.
it is a surprising force to be reckoned with, because it's people coming together that hadn't ever worked together before. And while he has a long legacy in Utah, I think that there's a younger generation that's coming in,